Welcome back. This is chapter 114 of Basic Hypnosis. I'm Monica, and I want to teach you what we're not looking for in this class. We want to look for it, but we're not seeking it. In basic hypnosis, we're looking at direct suggestions, and if we encounter abreaction, we want to stop giving any suggestions except for those of relaxation, remembering to forget. When we get to the Hypnosis 200 course, we are looking for abreaction because that shows us where things are stuck. Stuck, a technical term about how do we get past the places that are holding us back. Why is it that I cannot find my book? Did I close it? Oh, it's still there. Let's see, can I find it again? There we go. Abreaction. Abreaction is an emotional reaction to some form of stimulation, whether external or internal, or both. It can be observed with screaming, crying, hysterics, intense emotions, nervous twitches and tics, rhythmic movement, rocking or swaying, and possible withdrawal or dissociative behavior. In its most productive form, abreaction allows for a catharsis of some repressed pain or trauma. The release of the tension or trauma holds a potential for healing. The abreaction is more than a simple remembering or recalling of an experience. The body exhibits the behavior indicating that it's reliving the experience. The human central nervous system has two primary branches, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The parasympathetic system is a relaxed awareness and functioning, and the sympathetic is fight, flight, freeze, or fawn when startled or frightened. Western culture is steeped in stories of a human capacity for fight or flight. The capacity for freezing or getting stuck is not as well discussed in our culture. The freeze response is an inability to take appropriate action. It's like a possum playing dead or a deer frozen in a headlight. The person may be shocked or unable to respond. Another part of the response is called the fawning response, when we start doing things to appease other people without taking care of our own needs. We attend to them so that we feel some modicum of safe. Abreaction and hysteria. When a body has an incomplete process of an unpleasant experience, it indicates that there's a discharge, an undischarged, unstored energetic memory found in the nervous system that's mostly observed in the peripheral nervous systems of hands, feet, and head. For example, the head might start rotating or rocking, twisting back and forth, unresolved. The hand may start flipping. The toe might start tapping. When the nervous system has an unresolved memory, and when I go like this, I'm not talking crazy. I'm talking about the gerbil on the wheel that's running in the head. Maybe you've seen a little rodent on a wheel and it's running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The mind does the same thing. It rotates around an idea over and over and over again, seeking a new solution. And the person's stuck because they don't have a new solution in mind. So when you see a person with their hand tapping, or with their foot tapping, or with the head twisting repetitively, you've got abreaction going on. And for this class, stop giving suggestions except for anything that has to do with relaxation. I'm going to go back to my screen share. There we go. When the hands start tapping, there's that urge. The feet want to run and escape. When the hands start tapping, maybe the hand wants to strike or slap or do something different. The feet want to run and they want to escape, but they don't. So the hand can't slap, the hand can't strike, the feet can't run, and the mind is looping around because it's not happy. It can't find a new solution. The person may demonstrate hysteria, ungovernable emotional excess. The rhythmic movement, the circular or elliptical movements of the head, the rocking or swaying of the body. Sometimes a person will start rocking, exaggerated breathing, the rhythmic continuing movement. The body is trying to process an unresolved trauma. Trauma means wound. Don't use wounded people for stage shows or entertainment. Don't use them for simple relaxation demonstrations. The reason is when we have a demonstration subject for hypnosis, it sets a mark for everybody else to follow it. When I go to hypnosis conferences, I volunteer. I'm a, I always have something to work on. And I don't have unresolved trauma. So when I go into trance, I am a very good hypnotic subject. And once the next subject comes up, they do it better than I did. So you want it when you're doing hypnosis demonstrations, you want to pick good subjects. Good subject. We'll talk about good subjects, difficult subjects. There's no such thing as a bad subject. We want to pick the easy subjects so we set a tone for the next people to have a good experience. Wounded people need therapeutic interventions. Don't use them for demo subjects. At this point in your basic hypnosis training, when you encounter people displaying abreaction, if you're in a classroom and setting, you ask the instructor or one of the catchers for the program, and the catchers are usually students who've been in the class before. And in my classes, one of the reasons I allow you to come back after you've passed 80% on a test is I'll put you to work. If someone's having difficulty, I'll say, would you take care of that for me so that I could continue teaching? My former students who become my colleagues are very helpful in classroom settings. When you're with an abreacting person, maintain contact. I don't touch the person without permission. I give suggestions for calming, relaxing, distancing, breathing, stepping back, relaxing some more, breathing deeply, coming back to waking state only as fast as it's comfortable to remember to forget that which is not yet fully ready to come forth. Within a safe, bounded and unbounded learning environment, you're providing a safe sanctuary for all parties to be safe. Bounded means it's safe inside there. Unbounded means we can say and experience all the things that are necessary to say and experience at that time, authentic. Demonstrations of how to work with abreaction are wonderful teaching tools for new hypnotists and are standard practice in the additional 150 hours of training in this course. As an opportunistic hypnosis educator, when I observe phenomena unfolding in a demonstration subject or a group, I like to stop the planned exercise and say, I see something. It's not a part of this class. It's another class. But something is unfolding right now, and I find it interesting and it's spontaneous, and it's an opportunity for demonstrating therapeutic strategies helpful for this person rapidly improving an overall sense of comfort and well-being. Would you like to continue on with the class, or shall I show you what I see? Inevitably, my students go, oh, we want to see what you're seeing. And then I teach them how to look for what is abreaction and how to cope with it. As a basic hypnosis student, you're not skilled enough for abreaction engagement or elicitation for psychotherapeutic benefits yet, unless you're already a licensed professional and have other training. Turning the abreacting client over to a hypnotherapist with a skill set beyond the basic relaxation, deepening, direct suggestions, and emergence of this basic hypnosis training is what I ask you to do. Some people, they need to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist for additional training beyond that, which we have in hypnosis. Artificial trauma. With a good client history, you can avoid pushing buttons on phobias, allergies, fears. That's why an intake is important. You find out from them, are you allergic to anything? Do you have any phobias? Is there anything you're afraid of? One of the hypnosis colleagues told me about giving a suggestion about floating like a feather, not knowing the woman was allergic to feathers. And he shifted quickly to, now there's a helicopter coming in to lift you out of that feather and to take you into clear, fresh air. So when you find that you've unfortunately pushed an artificial trauma by pushing a button on a fear, a phobia, or an allergy, you need to have words to get past that so that you get that person clear again. Responding to abreaction. What do you need to do as a hypnotist, a basic hypnotist? You got to remain calm. You don't go, this is terrible. You can't do that. The hypnotized subject is highly sensitive and can sense what you're experiencing. So if you're confused or uncertain, they'll pull away from your suggestions. Stop giving any more suggestions except for those of calm, self-control, relaxed well-being, and remembering to forget. After the rhythmic motion stop, you can proceed with induction or suggestions. If the movements start again, stop giving the suggestions other than emergence. It's all right to end the suggestion if it's all right to remember to forget. Remember to forget those things that you don't need to remember at this time. You all experience this as normal. You'll be more relaxed. Each individual will experience hypnosis in their own very unique way, and it may be very different from your experience. Cultivate a working relationship with other professionals in your community so that you can make referrals to people. When I was living in a different community, I had lists in the file next to me of people that I could refer to at the end of my sessions, whether it be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a mental health counselor, a social worker, a minister, or a priest. Relaxation is an emotional outlet. The relaxation of hypnosis provides a natural emotional outlet. A person may be perfectly normal until they enter hypnosis. When the subject begins to toss or turn or do any repetitive action, you're exposing an emotional energy that's seeking some form of release. In my therapeutic applications, I'll say, if that tapping hand could speak, what would it say? And normally the person will look at the hand and the hand will stop tapping. We'll deal with how to process those things in the Hypnosis 200. By the time most people become adults, they've learned to control and put their less acceptable quirks, social deviances, and idiosyncrasies aside, particularly in public settings. They stick it away in a place inside so they don't embarrass themselves or those around them with public emotional displays. And some people use public emotional displays for catharsis in public, for genuine expressions of emotion, and some people use it to manipulate others. The natural capacity for deep relaxation allows squished down emotions, feelings, and perceptions to be identified and perhaps freed for more productive purposes. If energy is neither created nor destroyed, we need to access that energy and transform it to something positive. Lethargy. When a person does not respond to suggestions or remains indifferent during the session, include in the emergent suggestions all the new ideas, thoughts, or feelings triggered by the experience being assimilated, collated, correlated, and filed away in the warehouse of learning for future use in a positive, powerful, life-affirming way that surprises and delights you. Each and every time you practice hypnosis, you go deeper and faster than the time before. I recommend giving a person a hypnosis recording. And when I was first writing these manuals, I used audio tapes. They hand it to them, they take it away. I've had people come back and say, that darn tape isn't working anymore. They didn't say it quite so polite. Okay, so what do you think that's for? Oh, I think I resolved everything on the audio tape. Can I have another one? We make more suggestions targeting their specific ideas. For the use of hypnosis in modern e-recordings, I find Gmail has a large enough capacity to ship not all of the emails to, and WhatsApp is a comfortable place to ship an e-recording to a client so that they can listen to it again at their leisure. I recommend once a day for at least 7 to 10 days, ideally for 28 days. Chapter 114, Questions for Comprehension and Self-Exploration. What is abreaction? What is hysteria? What is the freeze response? What is artificial trauma? What are the first 3 things to do when dealing with abreaction? And that concludes chapter 114, Abreactions in Basic Hypnosis. My name's Monica. It has been a pleasure sharing with you today. Thank you for coming to visit me. As you leave this Zoom room, cross this E-threshold, going back into the real world, may you find new solutions to anything that comes upon you that you want to achieve more effectively. Thank you.